I decided to come on here today to just see how you all are doing and talk about overfunctioning. And this is a topic that came up for me recently, and I mentioned it a little bit on Facebook, and some people were asking to kind of like hear more. So, overfunctioning is a form of anxiety. Anxiety is something I realized I had probably in college, and it's a function of me being, first child, oldest, a recovering perfectionist. That I would always get anxious about stuff. Not always, actually, but when I did, it was like big episodes, and it would always show up in a physical representation. Like I would get sick, or I have strep throat and it'd be a very bad case, or I have issues with my digestion. Things like that will happen. And I started to look up some stuff about anxiety. And actually, I was on Instagram the other week, and Myleik Teele, if you know her, she is the CEO, founder of Curlbox. She asked a question on her Instagram about, are you an overfunctioner? And I kind of just thought about what the word, overfunctioning means. And I'm like, I've done so much work on myself. I'm not overdoing anything. I'm just doing what I need to do and doing it, at my best. And so I voted no, like very, seriously, like I know it's a no. And then she got to posting some of the characteristics of an overfunctioner, and I was like instantly like, oh my gosh, that's me. And being an overfunctioner, I wanted to like really go back and take control of it and correct it, and I couldn't, because if on Instagram you can't like redo your poll answers. But she asked again, and I was able to be like, yes. And so it got me to thinking, like, this is probably a lot of people, and they don't realize that this is like a form of anxiety and whatnot, because I didn't until I read this. So I went and looked up the article and stuff that she was talking about, and I'm just gonna share with y'all some of the parts of overfunctioning that like really resonated with me. So one was using phrases like "no worries" in emails to calm other people down. Always picking the restaurant for your friend group. Finishing other people's sentences when they're anxious. Taking on a task at work because teaching another staff member will be frustrating. That's me. Doing something for somebody they can do because it will take less time if you do it. Researching information for someone that can look it up themselves. Explaining someone else's thinking in a work meeting when they're present. Telling somebody what to order. Reminding somebody to take their medicine. It's like you're taking control of the situation and trying to have the most control of it to take away some of your anxiety because you have control of you, but you're also putting stress on yourself because you're piling more onto yourself when people are totally capable of doing things for themselves. So in the end, this thing is a disservice for not only you but for other people, because you're piling so much on yourself. You're adding more stress, you're adding more anxiety, and you're also not letting that person learn. You're not letting them do for themselves, and you're not letting them be independent. And you're creating somebody who's going to be dependent on you, or a situation that's going to be dependent on you, which is not good. So once I started reading up on this, I was like, okay, this is something I need to work on actively changing. And I read through the article and some other things about different ways you can begin to kind of process through it. So I started to think about not only the things on this list, but other ways in my life that I'm actually over functioning. And I kind of thought through them. And I also thought about how I wanted to act in the situation, and kind of set out a plan so that the autopilot of taking over the taking over spirit does not happen. And the biggest part is like you're planning this and you think, oh, I can do that. When it comes up, I'm just not going to take it. I'm going to delegate. I'm going to do whatever. But there's a level of discomfort that comes with like sitting in this in the moment. And funny enough, I had it happen this week. I gave somebody a project at work that I knew I could have taken on myself, but I needed to delegate. They sent me like the first draft back and it was wrong. It was wrong. And all of my instincts were like, sis, take this back, find the time, do it right. But like I had to sit in that like feeling of discomfort and take overness spirit and be like, just take the time to actually explain to them what the issue is, explain to them how it should be done, and send that email back. I did that. The next day I got it back and it was fine. So I'm like, okay, great example of how sitting in the discomfort, doing the thing, explaining something to somebody that you would have probably already been done with and letting them do it has allowed me to like, okay, whew, it can work. So obviously there are going to be times when you want to take over something, you want to do something for somebody. Like I had to realize that I've been doing this recently and I have to stop. So I've been blessed to find a lot of cleaning supplies on Amazon. So like whenever somebody has been like, oh, where'd you get it from? I'm like, Amazon. And I'm like, I'm just looking out, searching. I was like, I'll send you the link if I find some. I'll send you this if I find some. Like a couple people I'm going to do it for because I just know that they're looking too. And they're also people with health issues. So I'm like, I'm looking out for my people. But like, they could do it themselves. And like, why am I holding on to this? Like, why am I offering to do this for people? Like, it's the thing. Like, it's anxious. It's anxiety. Like, now I'm at the point where I'm looking for stuff I don't even need to kind of tell other people. Why am I doing this? So I'm just like, I need to like let this go and like do better with it. And it's like part of it is going to be recognizing those times where you're really over functioning, and part of it is going to be sitting in the discomfort and just kind of letting people do things for themselves. So I know a lot of y'all are going to see this later, but comment below, let me know if you are an over functioner, if you are currently over functioning, maybe you overcame over functioning and you have some tips. Let me know if this resonated with you, and I'll also try to put the link to the original article in the comment section. And I will talk to you all later. Thanks for those of you who tuned in, Tiffany and Lindsay live, and I will see you later. Bye.